So hi everybody, we're all outside of Lergio Middle School. This is Pod 7 West. We're going to take you on a little tour of the day at Lergio that you may experience when you come on in. So we're going to start off with the entrance. You'll notice we're at the back of the building right now, and there are 3 entrances to the building. We're standing outside the last entrance before you would turn the corner and go down by the gymnasium and the cafeteria. This is the one that you're going to come up. It's called A2. So make sure that you come in the doors A2 in the morning, okay? All right, so let's get going.
All right, so this is the door that you would come in the morning. But this is the stairwell that you're going to walk up. This is a 2-way stairwell. So you can go up, you can go down. It is not just a one-way. And here we are at Pod 7 West, marked with the Lergio lion and our lovely banner. And this is what we call the pod area. So what you will see in the pod area is a little schedule board. It's not set up yet, but it will tell you what classes you have, what time of day they are, when to make transitions, when we have mask breaks. And in the pod area are your lockers, which we're also not using right now. This is Mr. Dubriel's room, science for Pod 7 West, and that's him right there. Hello. Miss Stackhouse is in his doorway, but her doorway is diagonal over there.
Right next to the art room.
Yep. Miss Harold's holding the phone, and her room is the one with the welcome at the top with a bunch of different math angles. Very nice. And then I'm Mr. Kamenker. Mr. Cam for short, and I'm over in the corner right by the stairwell. I'm the language arts teacher. So this is our pod area.
Who are these people?
This is Mrs. Sink, our resource teacher, and Miss Bush, our resource paraprofessional. They are a lovely addition to our team. Their room is way down the hall.
Yeah, we'll have to explore that next.
Yeah, in the blue pod, and they're great resources for everybody in our pod.
So some of you are going to have a foreign language. We have 2 foreign language rooms over here. These are our Spanish rooms. So they're right in between the red and the green pods, along with our lovely bathrooms over here. And then we'll work our way back through the red pod to our other foreign language classes. We have Latin and we have French. Do we have a Spanish room over there too?
Yes.
I think so.
Yep,
so again, we're back in the pod area again, right? So you can see the pod area is kind of the central location for us.
On this side, we have one of our 2 art rooms. As we keep going, we have the other Spanish classroom and Latin classroom.
So that's like still in red pod. We haven't moved anywhere really. We're still in part of red pod, but there's another Spanish teacher that's in here.
And then we have our French foreign language on this side. And as we start moving into blue pod, we have our other art room. This is Mrs. Benoit.
Wonder if she's in here. Mrs. Benoit.
Hi.
Hi. We're going on a tour.
Oh, I like it. And then as we keep going down, we are officially in the blue pod.
Ooh.
And my classroom is all the way down here. So for those of you that have resource with me, this is the room that you're going to be using. I'll show you a little bit more when you guys get here, but not everyone's going to need this room.
All right, well, again, I'm Mr. Dubriel. I haven't formally introduced myself, and we're making our way from what you just saw, the blue corner. It's a big square, by the way, if you didn't know it, upstairs and downstairs. And so we'll eventually find our way back to where we started, but here we are in the blue corner, making our way to the yellow pod area. Blue pod teachers, we're still passing through them. We've got health class here with Mrs. Harris and enrichment with Mrs. Rockwell. We'll see a quick.
Hello, everybody.
This is Mrs. Herrick.
Hi.
This is the health room and Enrichment room. Got
Making
busy
our way
there.
down here, we have another set of bathrooms. This is the blue and yellow area of the bathrooms. And
So is Red Pod supposed to use these bathrooms?
I'm told not to, but I suppose in an emergency anything can happen, but I think it's discreet. We have our own bathroom, right?
Right,
Red
and if
green.
we're down here though in
Then
class,
obviously
then
you
these are
can.
the bathrooms. You always use the
Absolutely.
closest ones, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Making our way down here, we have our, we'll call it this middle yellow staircase. It is the one-way downstairs. This brings us to the 8th grade floor, and eventually heading straight through the doors, you get to the office, the nurse, other areas that we'll see shortly. So, academic support with Miss Hilsey and Mrs. LaRocca, two great folks who help out a lot. Students there get assistance in many ways, and they are there to help all students in many ways. So come in, we are awesome, says the sign. And they are.
They are.
It looks fun in there.
And
What is this downstairs? What does that do?
that is the stairway to
Nowhere.
nowhere, as we call it. A fire exit, a stairway that heads right outside, used for fire drills. The wonderful Yellow Pod folks continue. So you can see we're making our way to green, and eventually we'll take a right and we'll hit where we started, Red Pod area. So this is the green pod, and I can see it in the distance, Red Pod. So we made a whole square loop, making our way. So anywhere
And so we're back to the Spanish rooms.
back to the Spanish room. So anywhere you are on either
Yay.
floor, as long as you kind of walk in one direction, you eventually hit whatever room you may be looking for. And so
There's a limited amount of getting lost.
it's a great way to put it. A limited amount of getting lost, a limited time you will get lost. So anyway, that's the tour of the upstairs. We'll pass it on to somewhere else. There you go. Thank you.
So I bet you want to know how you get down to lunch, because that is the most important subject of the day. So when you leave our Red Pod area, you're going to come down this staircase here. Polite to the right, especially on this big landing. You want to stay as close to the wall as possible, allowing other students to pass in the other direction. So you might think that this is very similar to upstairs, and that's because it is. This is 8 West, so this is the 8th grade Red Pod. Looks almost identical to upstairs. So if you continue down the hall through the Red Pod area, we are arriving at Facts class. And look, we're getting ready for the start of the year.
There's
Wave
Mrs.
hello.
Quirk.
Hi, Mrs.
This is
Quirk.
what I look like with my mask off. You will never see it.
Take advantage now.
Here I
So-
am.
So this is the cooking room.
Yes.
Yay, they get to cook
Make
here.
all sorts of tasty
Yes,
things.
and they won't be sewing this year. If they do any sewing, it will be hand sewing with me. No sewing
Oh,
machines, at least for the start of the year.
okay, cool.
All right, so we're going to continue down the hall here, dodging all of the chairs. We're making our way into Blue Pod, so the same exact setup as upstairs, only now we're downstairs. Passing through all the Blue Pod folks. Now again, you're going to see the elevator in the corner. Remember, that's off limits to students unless you have a special situation where you get a pass from our nurse, Mrs. Chessie. And we're going to show you where that office is in another video. So this is a place that you might be interested in. Let's say that you misplaced that coat or a baseball hat or a water bottle. Something goes missing in your day. If you look right down this hallway, and you can still see some items from last year, some of our staff members keep this very well organized. This is where you come to find your lost items. It's the lost and found area. We're leaving the Blue Pod, and Mr. Kim is going to point out the map on the floor. Mr. Dubriel said we get lost very, very little in this building, and here's why. It's a giant square, and this is the map of your building on the floor. So if you're ever not sure where you are or where to go, if you keep going around the square, eventually you'll find where you need to be. So always remember this map. All right, so let's continue down. This is what I call Grand Central Station. This is where all sorts of important offices are, and we're going to cover those a little bit later in the video. But for now, we're on our way to lunch, so we want to make sure that we get to lunch on time, walking at a very nice speed, not running. I was going to show you, this is a long hallway, and there's items in this hallway that are going to be important to you, and on the way back from lunch, we'll show you exactly what all of those places are. So down here, is a place that probably you will never go. Normally, these doors are closed and there's an alarm on them. That's an entrance to the high school that we typically wouldn't use unless we're going over there to sit in the theater for a presentation. And that might happen this year. Don't worry about getting over there. Your teacher's always going to be with you if we take that journey. So again, this is a long hallway. You're going to be carrying your lunch. You might have a backpack. Make sure you take it real slow. They're going to have plenty of food down there for everybody to eat. You will have enough time to get what you need to at lunch. I know that's always something that makes students nervous. I promise there's enough food for everybody down there and enough chairs too. I know that sometimes students can feel a bit nervous about that. All right, so if you ever are arriving down at these tiled squares and there's not an adult in the cafeteria, it's a really polite thing to do to wait until an adult gets there. That just makes sure that everybody's safe and that everybody's an equal opportunity to get to where they need to go in the cafeteria. If you're down here and you need to use the bathroom, it's a really long walk back upstairs. So you don't need to go all the way back up to our pod area to go to the bathroom. Down that hallway to the right, there's a boys and a girls bathroom, and Miss Harold's gonna take you down there. Here are the bathrooms for when you are in the cafeteria.
They're opposite the bathrooms upstairs.
That is completely true. So
Because
double
that's
check.
also the way that happens in the high school, by the way.
Always good to double check. Okay, now we're about to head into the dining hall.
Woohoo, lunch!
Woohoo, lunch, everybody's favorite. And this is what the lunchroom looks like. Ta-da! You're gonna be able to get snacks, hot lunch if you've ordered it, or of course if you bring from home, this is where you're gonna enjoy that delicious food that you brought from home. Thanks everybody, see you soon.
Okay, so if you leave the cafeteria, there are a lot of other rooms around here. The gymnasium is right here. They're finishing some painting and such in there right now.
That's why it says keep out.
In.
But here, you can see the beautiful floor. It's huge, huge gym.
So if you are a student who sees our speech therapist, Mrs. Cloutier is right over there.
So this is Mrs. Cloutier.
Hello.
And this is her assistant,
Mrs. Murray.
Mrs. Murray. Awesome. All right, and this is the speech.
Here is our technology education classroom.
So right across from the dining hall.
Yep. So this is where tech ed classes are held. Miss Murray's in here right now, so we can say hello to her if you
Hi, Miss
want.
Murray.
I have my mask on.
Oh, that's okay.
Come in.
We're socially distant from you.
We're gonna stay away, so we're good. Yeah, okay.
As we walk down the hall this way, you will see that the girls' changing room is right here. So that's where you would change before phys ed. And then further down the hall, on the same side, is the boys' changing room as we head back to Grand Central Station, as Miss Stackhouse has termed it. And right beyond the boys' changing room are the music rooms. So there is a band room and a chorus room. That's gonna look a little different right now. But Mrs. Beeland is our band teacher. There she is waving to you. And then Mrs. Davino is next door to her. She's the chorus teacher, which again looks different this year, but she has pretty much the same setup in her classroom as Mrs. Beeland. All right, and then as we work our way back to the main part of the entrance here, you'll see our guidance office. Right now, nobody is at the desk there. We have a new person coming in to start that job soon. But there is a secretary in the guidance office who you can ask for help if you want to see one of your counselors. Mrs. Demers.
You can leave notes for your guidance counselors right
Yeah.
on the pegboard here, so based on your last name.
Right.
So if you have an emergency and you'd really like to talk with the counselor, you can leave them a little note right here and pin that to the board, and they'll try to follow up with you during the day.
Yep.
Here's Mrs. Demers's.
So she's H through R.
Hi.
And Mrs. LaRue is S through Z.
Hi there.
And Mrs. LaRue also helps out any new students to Lergio. So if you're a new student to Lurgio and to Bedford, she is somebody that will help you a great deal. Over here is our main office. There's always a lot going on in here. You can see it's very busy right now. But right when you walk into the main office, Mrs. Cronin is to your left. Mrs. Fitzgerald is to your right. They're both our office staff. Mrs. Cronin mostly does attendance, but Miss Fitzgerald helps out with that and other things as well. This is the main entrance to the building. So you'll see right now.
There comes Mrs. Chessie.
Mrs. Chessie is on her way in. And Mrs. Chessie is one of our school nurses.
We're doing a pod
Welcome to Lurgio Tour.
hello. So this is the nurse, Mrs. Chessie, and we're going to show you where that office is, right over here. This happened to be that you were walking in at the time. So
Awesome.
so notice the health office is right near the front office and the guidance office.
Yep.
So it's all real good that we end up. There's Mrs. Friedman and Mrs. Chessie.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mrs.
so
Friedman
there's.
is also shared with McKelvey, so some of you might recognize her because she floats between McKelvey and Lurgio.
So take a note, right at this entrance right here, it has an arrow pointing to the media center. We have to take a left. We're back to that same map on the floor. And these are those skinny stairs that were upstairs by the academic support. This is the set of stairs that will always dump you out right at the bottom of almost like this main Grand Central Station, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah. All right. So we have one more thing to show you.
Just one last thing, if you come this way with me into the yellow pod in 8th grade, so you'll see more classrooms, pod setup. Right over here is the media center. And in the media center, you will find our library media specialist, Ms. Detweiler. who's
Hey,
walking
that's
out
who that is
now.
right now.
How's it going? You guys making a video?
We
Yeah,
are making
we're
a
doing
video
a
and
tour.
welcoming the
Oh,
students.
nice. And welcome to the library.
So, yeah, thank you. Hi,
Yeah.
and this is Mrs. Harris from
Teacher, hi there.
Hi.
So in we go to the library, and up front here you will see a book drop. It's going to be a little different this year, but if you come to the library, typically Mrs. Delina or Mrs. Reel is at the desk, or Miss Detweiler, checking out books and other things to you. And this is where you can go to get a good reading book if you're looking for something on your distance learning days. Over there is the tech corner.
We're down here now at the tech corner. Miss Manley. She'll be one of the first faces you see.
This is Dennis's office. She's helping some teachers right now, but she is also a great support as our digital learning specialist and teacher. And then if you
All
go
right.
back out this way, you're in the 8th grade green pod area, which is across from the 8th grade red area. And that will take us back up to our pod. So that's the tour of Lurgio. We hope it's helpful, and we look forward to seeing you here and spending the year together. So thanks so much, guys.